Hey y'all, Sunshine 1979. I want to bring y'all the map story that I did create for Nikki Francis-Coslovich. And as you guys know that do follow my channel, I do love doing the map stories because it's very interactive. I always drop the link in the description. That way you guys can go on and use the map yourselves and look around and read the notes that I've got on the maps and give these babies a voice, share them out. And it's kind of a cool way to interactively show different parts of the world, and you can actually go into towns, and it's really neat. But again, I wanted to bring her story to everybody in my map story. So we'll start exploring. This is baby Nikki, an angel taken too soon. She was born February 4, 2013, a life stolen too soon from this world. Please share her story and help me bring justice for baby Nikki. The last two adults to see her alive are walking free. This is her biological father, and I encourage you guys to go on and read these notations that I have on this map story. They're detailed to each picture. This is John Torney. This was the stepfather that was in the home with her, one of the last adults to see her live. In the previous video that I did on this baby, there was the confession, but I did include the transcript from the confession here on her map story, so you can come and read the transcript. This is the biological mother. This is a newspaper clipping from a local newspaper there in Australia. This is showing her leaving the courthouse. This is when he was acquitted. As I said, both of these adults are walking free. This man had a violent past, concerns from the family for the 2-year-old. This monster admitted that he stuffed Nikki into the rafters. Now, in the story, you're going to read it as a manhole. This is the mother again. This is her being escorted out to a vehicle with her face covered up. In my opinion, if this mother didn't do anything wrong to this child, why would you want to cover your face? Baby Nikki has now eternal sleep. Please help me bring Nikki to light, and be sure to set this set of monster parents are held accountable for the baby's death. She was beaten, shoved in the rafters, and they both walk free. And this is my baby now. Nikki is my baby now. And if you guys watch the map, we went from Australia, and when we got to this page, it brought us over to Florida, United States, where I am. Nikki is now one of my babies. I will hold her close to my heart. I was brought her by a subscriber on my channel asking me please to have a voice for baby Nikki. I have sleepless nights, so I wanted to bring what I have as far as skill to create and be a loud voice for these babies, to be a voice and make a change. I do want to share her story with you guys, and I will go ahead and leave it up on this page here with the balloon vigil in the background that was held for baby Nikki. This is a thank you from baby Nikki. For mine and there's a sub on my channel with a beautiful heart asked me to please cover this baby and give her a voice. The murdered toddler's mom's 000 call, or a 911 call here in the States, can be found on the first video that I did of her. Nikki's body was found in the roof space of her Mildura home. In both cases, the boyfriend of the child's mother was accused of murder and was acquitted. No one has since been charged with murder, and no one else will be charged with Nikki's murder unless fresh evidence comes to light. This was in November of 2016. Child protection workers reportedly knew murdered toddler Nikki Francis-Coslovich's stepfather had a violent criminal 2 months before she was found dead in her Mildura home. John Torney was acquitted of the 2-year-old's murder. The case was not being monitored by caseworkers, even though they had reportedly concerns for the toddler's safety. That report was from the Herald-Sun. Nikki's badly beaten body was found in the roof cavity of her mother, Peta-Ann Francis Mildura's home in August. Her liver was split in several pieces. I'm sorry guys for misspeaking. Her liver was split in several places, and she lost between 1/4 and 1/3 of her total blood volume. The Crown said the damage was caused by repeated infliction of a clenched fist to the abdomen and chest of the child. Mr. Torney admitted that he had hid Nikki's lifeless body in the manhole, but maintained he didn't kill her. Nikki's biological father, Nick Koslovich, told the papers that the caseworkers needed to acknowledge where they had gone wrong in regards to their investigation. And guys, in my opinion, here in the States, we see this a lot where CPS, Children Protective Services, let these babies fall through the cracks. They're overworked, they're underpaid, and they have too many cases on their plates. And that is in my opinion. If you ask me, if they had done more, we would not be sitting here in court dealing with the fact that a 2-year-old got beat up. I would not be dealing with the loss of my daughter, Mr. Koslovich said. They need to acknowledge where they have gone wrong, and they need to correct the mistakes. Otherwise, we're going to be dealing with this every couple of years. I sure as hell don't want to see another child in the cemetery. Social workers who investigated Mr. Torney prior to the murder case reportedly was told by Nikki's mother that the 32-year-old was not living with them in the Mildura home. The caseworkers reportedly believed that Miss Francis, even though Mr. Torney was living there full-time, and closed the investigation on July 13th, child protection decisions, making it complex for the judgments and made based on the facts that are known at this time. The decision to close the case has been made in consultation with the senior staff and based on the risk to the children's and the family engagement and with support services. Department of Human Health Services spokesman David Stockman said, Justice Elizabeth Hollingsworth suppressed the information about Mr. Torney during the trial that can now be revealed, including suggestions of domestic abuse towards the previous girlfriend that he had undergone anger management treatment. His defense team claimed the toddler's mother, Miss Francis, was responsible. Minister of Children Jenny Makakos said she would wait for the findings of the criminal inquest before commenting. Nikki's father breaks his silence on a crucial conversation he had with a social worker before her death. They found her injuries like they had seen in those high-speed car crashes. She had repeated blows to her abdomen and chest. In several places her liver was split, and she had lost between 1/4 and 1/3 of her volume. By now we are all familiar with Nikki's story, and this is for the people in Australia. Here in the States, we were not, or myself, I was not aware of her story, and that's why I'm bringing it out to this community and to those that are part of the true crime community. This is another baby that has fallen through the cracks and has not gotten justice. We're familiar with her upbringing, her grubby clothes, and how often she went hungry. How social workers say her hair was always matted, that Nikki crawled around on floors splattered with cat feces. But her own father, Nick Koslovich, has been fairly silent about his daughter's murder until now, when he spoke out demanding justice for his 2-year-old. Nick, on a current affair via 9, his ex-partner, Nikki Peta-Ann Francis, reported Nikki's missing after she discovered her little girl's bed was empty. She had been asleep after smoking marijuana and having sex with her partner, John Clifford Torney. The toddler had spent the morning at the home of the Torneys while the mother ran errands. Her body was discovered several hours later after police noticed dirty fingerprints on a manhole cover in the hallway and climbed up onto a chair to investigate. Torney was not found guilty of Nikki's murder and was also acquitted of the alternate charge of manslaughter. Speaking to a current affair, and this would have been in 2016, it says last night, Nick Koshevitz said that he reportedly told the Victorian Department of Human Services that Nikki was living in an unsafe home in the weeks leading up to her death, and that there were drugs in the house. I told that I heard there was a violent person and he was staying with him in the house, and even though they weren't living together. She died alone. She had her daycare taken away. She had her dad taken away. She was locked in her room and spent a week of torment and died. It was revealed during the trial that Torney and Peta-Ann would spend their days stoned and having sex. Peta-Ann was the dole and found that consisted of 24/7 with Nikki's frustrating. Okay, on the dole in Australia means she was on like assistance, food stamps, etc. They would shut her in her room. Peta-Ann often just wanted time to herself. The Herald reports the social workers organized for Nikki to go to child daycare 4 times a week, but it had been 2 weeks before her death where she was inexplicably absent. Torney would later tell detectives that he and Peta-Ann felt like Nikki was being pampered there. Nick Koshevitz had a question: why did no one do more when she didn't turn up? Flags had been risen by child protection workers after Torney's violent criminal history was discovered, but Peta-Ann lied to them and told them he was not living there. Despite the fears of Nick Koshevitch, child protection workers decided that there had been no significant improvement in Peta-Ann's parenting with Torney on the scene and closed the files 6 weeks before she died. While Torney had been found not guilty and there was no suggestion that he had involvement in Nikki's death, police say that did not suspect Peta-Ann. Nick Koshevitz remains in limbo. Her father was described as a little girl who wouldn't hurt an ant. Nick told a current affair that the worst part now was that he didn't know who murdered his daughter. I've got 2 heartaches sort of eating me at the same time, Nick said. One of them is my little girl is not here. The other is that someone decided it was a good idea to be violent with a little girl that wouldn't hurt an ant. As always, guys, thanks for listening. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And please, even if you don't like, subscribe, and share this baby's story. Let's be a voice. And remember, it takes an army to be a voice. It takes a village to raise a child. And if you see something, say something.